I did sign a scholarship at Mississippi State, and looking back now, that's my biggest regret because I signed the scholarship, had a full ride, had college paid for, room and board paid for, everything took care of. But I only stayed a couple of days and quit and came home. Just got out there, just filled with dumb decisions and not thinking about the future, and quit and came home, and that was the end of it.
What made you decide to quit?
I'm not for sure. A little bit of homesickness. Probably a lot of homesickness. I had never been away from my family that long. And there I was in the middle of a state where I didn't know a single person other than a few guys that I just met on the team. So that was a little overwhelming for me, being 18 years old in the middle of nowhere. That was a little hard to swallow. And then, like I said, I wasn't into making great decisions at that time. So it was something I truly regret to this day. But then I didn't think about the future at all. I just did what I felt was right at the moment and made my decision.
Where did that lead you after?
I remember coming home because I remember calling my parents, like after they had left, they drove me out there and left me. And like the next day I remember calling home and told them I didn't want to stay. And
The next day?
The next day I told them I just hated it. And I remember them telling me to stick it out. I had several people call me, and talk to me, tell me I should give it a shot, give it a chance, give it some time. And of course I didn't. I just did what I wanted to do. So when I got home, I remember coming home and thinking everything was going to be fine. I drove all the way home from Starkville, Mississippi, all the way back to Lilburn, Georgia, without really telling anybody I was on the way. So, and this was at the time where there was no cell phones or anything like that. So I drove all that way without my parents knowing, and then I just show up at the door and, hey, I'm home. And it was kind of a surprise.
What'd they think?
I'm sure they were disappointed, but at the same time, my parents loved me. They wanted me to do what I felt like I needed to do. They never once made me feel ashamed of my choice. But it's just one of those life lessons that unfortunately was a bad decision, But so anyways, I came home, and it wasn't long after I remember Nana having a conversation with me. Well, you've made your decision, but you're not just going to sit around here and do nothing. So I ended up going to technical school and studying heating and air and getting out and getting a job. By the time I was 20, I had a full-time job.